The courtroom smelled like old wood and desperation. Serafina stood in the center of it all. Her hands were tied behind her back, the rope cut into her wrists. She did not cry. She did not beg. She lifted her chin and stared straight ahead. The judge sat high above her. His face was hard. His eyes were cold. He looked at her like she was nothing. "You stand accused of theft," the judge said. His voice echoed through the room. "Theft of the royal seal. Theft of documents belonging to the crown. Do you deny these charges?" Serafina opened her mouth. Her voice came out steady. "No, Your Honor, I do not deny them." Gasps filled the room. People whispered. They pointed. They shook their heads. The judge leaned forward. "You confess?" "Yes," Serafina said. "I confess. I took the seal. I took the documents. I acted alone." The judge's eyes narrowed. He studied her face. He looked for fear. He found none. "Then you will hang," he said. Serafina closed her eyes. She breathed in slowly. She breathed out. She thought of him, of the man she loved, of the man she was saving. Lucian. He stood in the back of the courtroom. His face was pale. His hands were clenched into fists. He wanted to scream. He wanted to run to her. He wanted to tell the truth. But she had made him promise. She had begged him to stay silent. "If they know it was you," she had whispered the night before, "they will kill you. Your family will lose everything. Your sister will be left alone. I cannot let that happen." "But you will die," Lucian had said. His voice had broken. "Serafina, you will die for something I did." "I will not die," she had said. She had touched his face. Her hand had been so soft. "I will survive this, but you must let me take the blame. You must let me protect you." He had not understood. He had not agreed. But she had kissed him. She had held him. And in the morning, she had walked into the courtroom and confessed to his crime. Now the guards moved toward her. They grabbed her arms. They pulled her toward the door. Lucian's heart pounded. He could not breathe. He could not think. "Wait," he said. No one heard him. The room was too loud. People were shouting. People were cheering. They wanted justice. They wanted blood. "Wait!" Lucian shouted louder. This time, people turned. The guards stopped. The judge looked up. Lucian pushed through the crowd. He stumbled forward. His eyes were wild. His voice was raw. "She is lying," he said. "She did not steal anything. I did." The room went silent. Serafina's eyes went wide. She shook her head. "No," she whispered. "No, Lucian. Do not do this." But Lucian did not stop. He walked to the center of the room. He stood beside her. "I stole the seal," he said. "I stole the documents. She is protecting me. She is innocent." The judge leaned back. He folded his hands. He looked between them. "Interesting," he said slowly. "Two people, both confessing, both claiming guilt, both lying to save the other." Serafina's breath caught. Her mind raced. She looked at Lucian. She saw the truth in his eyes. He was not lying. He really believed he was guilty. But so did she. The judge stood. He walked down the steps. He moved slowly. He looked at Serafina, then at Lucian. "Tell me," he said, "where were you on the night of the theft?" Lucian swallowed. "I was in the royal library, late, after midnight. I needed the documents for my work. I thought I could borrow them. But then I heard footsteps. I panicked. I took the seal, too. I hid everything in my coat. I ran." The judge turned to Serafina. "And you?" Serafina's voice was softer. "I was in the library, too. I went there to return a book. I saw the documents on the table. I saw the seal beside them. I heard someone coming. I thought they would blame the librarian, so I took them. I hid them in my bag. I left. The judge's eyes gleamed. You were both there, at the same time, but you did not see each other. Serafina and Lucian looked at each other. Confusion flickered across their faces. No, Serafina said slowly. I did not see him. I did not see her, Lucian said. The judge smiled. It was not a kind smile. It was the smile of a man who knew something they did not. That is because, he said, neither of you stole anything. The words hung in the air. Serafina's heart stopped. What? The judge walked back to his seat. He sat down. He waved his hand. The documents were never stolen, he said. The seal was never missing. This was a test to find the traitor in the court, someone who would risk everything for power, someone who would steal from the crown. Serafina's legs went weak. But I saw them. I took them. You took copies, the judge said. Fake documents, planted there. We wanted to see who would take them, who would confess, who would lie. Lucian's face went white. We were set up. Yes, the judge said, but not in the way you think. He gestured to the guards. Bring him in. The doors at the back of the courtroom opened. A man walked in. He was tall. His clothes were fine. His face was handsome, but his eyes were cold. Serafina gasped. Lord Varick. Lucian's hands curled into fists. What is he doing here? Lord Varick walked forward. He stopped in front of them. He smiled. Serafina, he said smoothly. Lucian, how noble of you both. How foolish. The judge leaned forward. Lord Varick is the real thief. He stole the original documents 3 weeks ago. He has been selling royal secrets to our enemies. We suspected him, but we had no proof, so we created this trap. Serafina's mind spun. But why would we confess if we were innocent? Because, the judge said, Lord Varick told each of you that the other was guilty. He manipulated you. He made you believe your lover had committed the crime. He knew you would each try to save the other. He thought your confessions would confuse us, would give him time to escape. Serafina turned to Lucian, her eyes filled with tears. He told me you stole the documents. He said if I did not take the blame, you would hang. Lucian's voice cracked. He told me the same about you. He said you were desperate, that you needed money, that you had made a terrible mistake. They stared at each other. The truth settled over them like a heavy blanket. They had both been innocent. They had both been tricked. They had both been willing to die for the other. Lord Varick laughed. It was a cruel sound. Oh, this is too perfect. Two lovesick fools. So easy to control. So easy to break. The judge's face hardened. Guards, take Lord Varick into custody. The guards moved forward. They grabbed Lord Varick's arms. He struggled. He cursed. But they were too strong. As they dragged him away, he looked back at Serafina and Lucian. His eyes were full of hate. You think you have won? He spat. You think this is over? You are wrong. So very wrong. The doors slammed shut behind him. The courtroom was silent. The judge stood. You are both free to go, with the court's apologies. Serafina's knees buckled. Lucian caught her. He held her up. His arms were strong. His heart was racing. It is over, he whispered. It is over. But Serafina looked at the doors where Lord Varick had disappeared. She felt a chill run down her spine. She did not think it was over. Not at all. They left the courtroom together. The sun was setting. The sky was painted in shades of orange and pink. It should have been beautiful. But Serafina could not enjoy it. Her mind was too full. Her heart was too heavy. Lucian walked beside her. He kept glancing at her. He wanted to speak, but he did not know what to say. Finally, Serafina stopped. She turned to face him. "You were going to let yourself hang," she said. Her voice was quiet. "For me." Lucian nodded. "Just as you were going to hang for me." A tear slipped down Serafina's cheek. "We are both fools." Lucian reached up. He wiped the tear away with his thumb. His touch was gentle. "Perhaps," he said, "but we are fools who love each other." Serafina closed her eyes. She leaned into his touch. "I thought I was saving you. I thought you were guilty. I thought I could bear the weight of your crime." "I thought the same," Lucian said. "I thought I could protect you, even if it cost me my life." They stood there in the fading light, two people who had almost lost everything, two people who had been manipulated and lied to, two people who had been willing to sacrifice themselves. "Where do we go from here?" Serafina asked. Lucian took her hands. He held them tightly. "We start again. We trust each other. We do not let anyone come between us." Serafina wanted to believe him. She wanted to let go of the fear, but Lord Varric's words echoed in her mind. "You think this is over? You are wrong." "What if he was right?" she whispered. "What if this is not over?" Lucian's jaw tightened. "Then we face it together. No more secrets. No more lies. No more taking blame for crimes we did not commit." Serafina nodded. She squeezed his hands. "Together." They started walking again. The city was busy around them. People rushed past. Carriages clattered on the cobblestones. No one paid them any attention. They were just two more people in a crowd, two more faces in the sea of humanity. But to each other, they were everything. 3 days later, Serafina sat in her small room. It was above a bakery. The smell of fresh bread always filled the air. She liked it here. It was simple. It was safe. Or at least, it had been. Now she could not shake the feeling that someone was watching her. She stood and walked to the window. She looked down at the street below. People moved about their business. A woman sold flowers on the corner. A man pushed a cart full of vegetables. Everything looked normal, but something felt wrong. A knock sounded at her door. Serafina jumped. Her heart raced. She walked slowly to the door. "Who is it?" she called. "It is me," Lucian's voice came from the other side. "Let me in." Relief flooded through her. She opened the door quickly. Lucian stepped inside. His face was serious. His eyes were dark. "What is wrong?" Serafina asked. Lucian closed the door behind him. He locked it. Then he turned to face her. "Lord Varric escaped," he said. Serafina's blood ran cold. "What?" "Last night, from his cell. The guards do not know how. They found his cell empty this morning. No signs of forced entry, no signs of struggle. He simply vanished." Serafina sank into a chair. Her mind raced. "He will come for us." "I know," Lucian said. He knelt in front of her. He took her hands. "That is why we must leave. Tonight. We cannot stay here." "Leave?" Serafina's voice was weak. "Where would we go?" "Anywhere," Lucian said. "Far from the city, far from the court. We can start over. We can disappear." Serafina looked into his eyes. She saw the determination there. She saw the love, but she also saw the fear. "What if he finds us?" she asked. "Then we face him," Lucian said. "Together. But we do not make it easy for him." Serafina wanted to argue. She wanted to say they should stay and fight. But she knew Lucian was right. Lord Varric was powerful. He had connections. He had resources. If they stayed, they would be sitting targets. "All right," she said. "We leave tonight." Lucian's face softened. He leaned forward and kissed her forehead. "I will keep you safe. I promise." Serafina closed her eyes. She wanted to believe him, but deep down she knew the truth. No one could keep anyone truly safe. Not from a man like Lord Varick. They traveled by night. They took back roads. They avoided inns and taverns. They slept in barns and under trees. It was hard. It was exhausting. But they were together. And for a while, that was enough. 2 weeks passed. They reached a small village near the coast. It was quiet, peaceful. The people were kind but kept to themselves. Lucian found work at the docks. Serafina took a job at a seamstress's shop. They rented a small cottage at the edge of the village. It was not much, but it was theirs. At night, they sat by the fire. They talked. They laughed. They tried to forget the danger that still lurked somewhere behind them. But Serafina could not forget. Every shadow made her jump. Every stranger made her nervous. She felt like she was waiting for something terrible to happen. One evening, Lucian came home late. His face was pale. His hands were shaking. "What is wrong?" Serafina asked immediately. Lucian closed the door. He locked it. He turned to her. "I saw him," he said. "At the docks. Lord Varick. He was asking questions. About us." Serafina's stomach dropped. "Are you sure it was him?" "I am certain," Lucian said. "He did not see me. I hid. But he was there. He knows we are here." Serafina stood. She paced the room. Her mind raced. "We have to leave. Again." "We cannot keep running," Lucian said. His voice was tired. "He will always find us. He has the resources, the power. We need to end this." Serafina stopped. She looked at him. "How?" Lucian's jaw tightened. "We confront him. We find out what he wants. We end this once and for all." Serafina's heart pounded. "That is suicide." "Maybe," Lucian said. "But I would rather die fighting than spend the rest of my life running." Serafina stared at him. She saw the determination in his eyes. She saw the resolve, and she knew he was right. They could not run forever. "All right," she said softly. "We face him, together." Lucian crossed the room. He pulled her into his arms. He held her tightly. "I love you," he whispered. "I love you too," Serafina whispered back. They stood there in the dim light of the cottage, two people clinging to each other, two people preparing for a battle they might not win, but they were together, and that was all that mattered. They found Lord Varick the next night. He was staying at the village's only inn. He had taken the best room. He acted like a nobleman on holiday, but Serafina and Lucian knew better. They waited until late, until the inn was quiet. Then they slipped inside. Lucian picked the lock on Lord Varick's door. It took only a moment. He was good with his hands, skilled, precise. The door swung open silently. Lord Varick sat by the window, a glass of wine in his hand. He did not turn when they entered. "I wondered when you would come," he said. His voice was calm, almost amused. Serafina and Lucian stepped inside. Lucian closed the door behind them. "Why are you following us?" Lucian demanded. Lord Varick took a sip of his wine. Then he turned to face them. His smile was cold. "Following you?" he said. "My dear boy, I am not following you. I am hunting you." Serafina's blood ran cold. "Why?" Lord Varick stood. He set his glass down. He walked slowly toward them. "Because you ruined everything," he said. His voice was soft, dangerous. "I had a plan, a perfect plan. I was going to sell those documents, make a fortune, disappear. But you two had to interfere. You had to confess. You had to complicate things." "We were innocent," Serafina said. Her voice was steady. "We did nothing to you." "Exactly," Lord Varick said. "You were innocent, and yet you were willing to hang. That made the judge suspicious. That made him dig deeper. That is how they caught me. Lucian stepped forward. His fists were clenched. So what? You want revenge? Lord Varick laughed. Revenge? No. I want compensation. Serafina frowned. Compensation? Lord Varick nodded. You cost me a fortune. You cost me my position, my reputation. So now, you will pay me back. We have no money, Lucian said. I know, Lord Varick said. He smiled. But you have something more valuable. You have each other. Serafina's heart stopped. What do you mean? Lord Varick's smile widened. I mean, I'm going to take everything from you, just as you took everything from me. I am going to destroy your lives, piece by piece, until you have nothing left. Lucian lunged forward, but Lord Varick was ready. He pulled a knife from his belt. He pressed it against Serafina's throat before Lucian could reach him. Stop, Lord Varick hissed, or I will cut her. Lucian froze. His eyes were wide. His breath came in short gasps. Let her go, he said. His voice was raw. No, Lord Varick said. Not until you understand. You took my life. Now I will take yours. Serafina could feel the cold steel against her skin. She could feel Lord Varick's breath on her neck. She wanted to scream. She wanted to fight, but she did not move. Please, she whispered. Please do not do this. Lord Varick pressed the knife harder. A thin line of blood appeared on her throat. Lucian's hands shook. Stop! I will do anything, just let her go. Lord Varick's eyes gleamed. Anything? Yes, Lucian said. Anything. Lord Varick considered this. Then, slowly, he lowered the knife. He pushed Serafina toward Lucian. Lucian caught her. He held her tightly. He checked her neck. The cut was shallow, but it was there. You have 1 week, Lord Varick said. 1 week to bring me 500 gold coins. If you do not, I will kill her, and I will make you watch. Lucian's face went pale. 500 gold coins? That is impossible. We do not have that kind of money. Then find it, Lord Varick said. He smiled. Steal it. Beg for it. Sell yourselves. I do not care. But if you do not bring it to me in 1 week, she dies. Serafina's mind raced. And if we do bring it, you will let us go? Lord Varick shrugged. Perhaps. Or perhaps I will ask for more. We will see. Lucian's jaw tightened. He wanted to attack. He wanted to kill this man. But he could not risk Serafina's life. We will get the money, he said through gritted teeth. Lord Varick nodded. Good. Now leave, before I change my mind and kill you both now. Serafina and Lucian backed toward the door. They did not take their eyes off Lord Varick. They did not trust him for a second. When they reached the door, Lucian opened it. They slipped out into the hallway. They ran. They did not stop until they were back at their cottage. Inside, Serafina collapsed into a chair. Her hands were shaking. Her breath came in short gasps. Lucian knelt in front of her. He took her hands. Are you all right? Serafina nodded, but tears were streaming down her face. What are we going to do? We cannot get 500 gold coins in a week. Lucian's face was grim. I do not know, but we will find a way. Serafina looked at him. She saw the determination in his eyes, but she also saw the desperation. There is no way, she whispered. We are going to die. Lucian pulled her into his arms. He held her tightly. No, I will not let that happen. I will find a way. I promise. Serafina wanted to believe him, but deep down she knew the truth. They were trapped, and there was no way out. The next 3 days were a blur. Lucian worked every moment he could. He took extra shifts at the docks. He did odd jobs around the village. He begged for loans from anyone who would listen. But it was not enough. Not even close. By the 3rd day, they had only managed to gather 50 gold coins. They needed 10 times that amount. Serafina tried to help. She sold everything they owned, their clothes, their furniture, even her mother's necklace. The only thing she had left of her family, but still, it was not enough. On the fourth night, Lucian came home exhausted. His face was drawn, his eyes were hollow. Serafina met him at the door. She could see the defeat in his expression. "How much?" she asked quietly. 120, Lucian said. His voice was flat. "We are not even a quarter of the way there." Serafina's heart sank. She had known it was impossible, but hearing the numbers made it real. "What do we do?" she whispered. Lucian did not answer. He walked to the window. He stared out at the dark village. Serafina watched him. She saw the weight on his shoulders. She saw the pain in his eyes. And she made a decision. "I will go to him," she said. Lucian turned. "What?" "I will go to Lord Varick," Serafina said. Her voice was steady. "I will offer myself, in exchange for your life." Lucian's face went white. "No, absolutely not." "It is the only way," Serafina said. "He wants to destroy us, but if I give him what he wants, maybe he will let you live." Lucian crossed the room in 2 strides. He grabbed her shoulders. "I will not let you do that." "You do not have a choice," Serafina said. Tears filled her eyes. "I am not going to watch you die trying to save me. I would rather die knowing you are safe." Lucian's eyes were wild. "Serafina, no. We will find another way." "There is no other way," Serafina said. She reached up and touched his face. "You know that. We both know that." Lucian pulled her into his arms. He held her so tightly she could barely breathe. "I cannot lose you," he whispered. "I cannot." Serafina closed her eyes. She breathed in his scent. She memorized the feel of his arms around her. "You will not lose me," she whispered. "No matter what happens, I will always be with you." They stood there in the darkness, 2 people holding each other, 2 people preparing to say goodbye. But neither of them knew that everything was about to change. The next morning, there was a knock at the door. Serafina answered it. A young boy stood outside. He looked nervous. He held out a letter. "For you, miss," he said. Serafina took the letter. She gave the boy a coin. He ran off quickly. She closed the door. She looked at the letter. It was sealed with red wax. The seal bore the mark of the royal court. Lucian came up behind her. "What is it?" Serafina broke the seal. She unfolded the letter. Her eyes scanned the words. Then she gasped. "What?" Lucian demanded. "What does it say?" Serafina looked up at him. Her eyes were wide. "It is from the king. He wants to see us. Today, at the palace." Lucian frowned. "Why?" Serafina read the letter again. "It does not say, just that we are summoned, immediately." They looked at each other. Confusion and hope mixed on their faces. "Could this be a trap?" Lucian asked. "Maybe," Serafina said. "But what choice do we have?" Lucian nodded slowly. "We go. We see what the king wants. Maybe he can help us." It was a thin hope, but it was all they had. They dressed in their best clothes. They walked to the palace. It took most of the morning. The palace was huge, beautiful, intimidating. Guards stood at every entrance. Servants rushed about. Serafina and Lucian were led inside. They walked through long hallways, past grand rooms, under high ceilings. Finally, they were brought to a large chamber. The king sat on a throne at the far end. He was older than Serafina had expected. His hair was grey, his face was lined, but his eyes were sharp. "Approach," the king said. His voice was strong. Serafina and Lucian walked forward. They bowed. "Your Majesty," Serafina said. The king studied them. He did not speak for a long moment. Then he said, "I have heard of your ordeal, of Lord Varric's treachery, of your willingness to sacrifice yourselves for each other." Seraphina's heart pounded. "Yes, Your Majesty." The king leaned forward. "Lord Varric escaped from my custody. That is my failure, my responsibility. And now he threatens you, because of my failure." Lucian spoke up. "Your Majesty, we do not blame you." The king waved his hand. "That is generous, but it does not change the facts. Lord Varric is dangerous. He will not stop until he has destroyed you. Unless—" Seraphina's breath caught. "Unless?" The king smiled slightly. "Unless I give you the means to stop him." He gestured to a guard. The guard brought forward a small chest. He set it on the floor in front of Seraphina and Lucian. "Open it," the king said. Lucian knelt. He opened the chest. Inside were gold coins, hundreds of them, maybe thousands. Seraphina's eyes went wide. "Your Majesty, we cannot—" "You can," the king said, "and you will. Take the money. Pay Lord Varric, but do not let him leave alive." Lucian looked up. "You want us to kill him?" The king's face was hard. "I want you to bring him to justice, however you see fit. He is a traitor, a criminal. He deserves no mercy, and I am giving you permission to end this, once and for all." Seraphina's mind raced. "Why us? Why not send your own guards?" The king leaned back. "Because Lord Varric is clever. He will see my guards coming. He will run. But he will not expect you to have the resources to fight back. He thinks you are weak, desperate. That is his mistake." Lucian closed the chest. He stood. "What if we fail?" The king's eyes were steady. "Then you die, and Lord Varric continues to be a threat. But I believe you will not fail. You have already proven yourselves. You were willing to die for each other. Now I am asking you to live, and to fight." Seraphina and Lucian looked at each other. They did not need words. They understood. They turned back to the king. "We will do it," Seraphina said. The king nodded. "Good. You have my blessing, and my gratitude. Bring Lord Varric to justice, and when you do, you will be rewarded. Land, title, whatever you wish." Seraphina's throat tightened. "We only wish for peace, Your Majesty." The king smiled. "Then peace you shall have, once this is done." They bowed. They took the chest. They left the palace. Outside, the sun was shining. The air was warm. But Seraphina felt cold inside. "We are going to kill him," she said quietly. Lucian looked at her. "Only if we have to. But yes, if it comes to that, we will end this." Seraphina nodded. She took a deep breath. "Then let us finish this." They met Lord Varric that night, at the inn, in his room. Lucian carried the chest. Seraphina walked beside him. They were both armed, knives hidden under their clothes, just in case. Lord Varric opened the door. His eyes went to the chest. He smiled. "I knew you would come through," he said. Come in, come in." They stepped inside. Lucian set the chest on the table. He opened it. Lord Varric's eyes gleamed. He reached for the coins. He ran his fingers through them. "Excellent," he said. "You have done well." "Now let us go," Seraphina said. Her voice was cold. Lord Varric looked at her. His smile faded. "Let you go? Oh, my dear. Did you really think it would be that simple?" Seraphina's stomach dropped. "You gave your word." Lord Varric laughed. "My word? I am a thief, a traitor. Why would you trust my word?" Lucian's hand moved to his knife, but Lord Varric was faster. He pulled a pistol from his coat. He aimed it at Seraphina. "Do not move," he said. His voice was sharp, "or I will shoot her." Lucian froze. His eyes were locked on the gun. "Good," Lord Varric said. He stepped closer to Seraphina. Now, here is what is going to happen. I am going to take this money, and then I am going to kill you both. Slowly, painfully, so that you understand what you cost me." Serafina's heart pounded. She looked at Lucian. She saw the fear in his eyes, but she also saw the determination. "You will not get away with this," Serafina said. Lord Varick pressed the gun to her temple. "I already have." But he had made a mistake. He had underestimated them, again. Serafina moved fast. She grabbed his wrist. She twisted. The gun fired, but the bullet went into the ceiling. Lucian lunged forward. He tackled Lord Varick to the ground. They struggled. Fists flew. Blood spilled. Serafina grabbed the gun. She aimed it at Lord Varick. "Stop!" she shouted. Both men froze. Lucian had his hands around Lord Varick's throat. Lord Varick's face was red. His eyes were bulging. "Let him go," Serafina said. Her voice was steady. "I will handle this." Lucian hesitated. Then slowly he released Lord Varick. He stood. He stepped back. Lord Varick gasped for air. He looked up at Serafina. Fear filled his eyes. "You will not kill me," he said. His voice was weak. "You are not a killer." Serafina's hands were shaking. The gun felt heavy in her grip. He was right. She was not a killer. But she was also not going to let him hurt anyone else. "You are right," she said. "I will not kill you, but I will make sure you face justice." She gestured to Lucian. "Tie him up." Lucian nodded. He used the rope from the curtains. He bound Lord Varick's hands and feet. He gagged him. Then they carried him out of the inn. They took him to the docks. They put him on a boat. And they sailed him back to the capital, back to the palace, back to the king. The king was pleased. He had Lord Varick thrown into the deepest dungeon, with guards watching him day and night. "He will never escape again," the king promised. Serafina and Lucian believed him. The king kept his word. He gave them land, a small estate on the coast, far from the city, far from the court, far from danger. It was beautiful, peaceful, perfect. They built a life there, a simple life, a happy life. They married in the spring, under the apple trees, with only a few friends as witnesses. Serafina wore a white dress. Lucian wore his best suit. They said their vows. They kissed. They danced. And they were finally free. 1 year later, Serafina stood in the garden. She held a baby in her arms, a little girl with dark hair and bright eyes. Lucian came up behind her. He wrapped his arms around them both. "She is beautiful," he whispered. "Like her father," Serafina said. She smiled. Lucian kissed her cheek. "Like her mother." They stood there in the warm sunlight. 3 people, a family. Serafina thought back to that day in the courtroom, when she had been willing to die for Lucian, when he had been willing to die for her. They had both been innocent, both been tricked, both been willing to take the blame for a crime they did not commit. It had almost destroyed them. But it had also brought them together, had shown them the depth of their love, had proven that they would do anything for each other. "Do you ever regret it?" Lucian asked suddenly. "Taking the blame that day?" Serafina looked up at him. She smiled. "No, because it led me here, to you, to her, to this life." Lucian's eyes softened. "I love you." "I love you too," Serafina said. And in that moment, everything was perfect. But somewhere in the darkness, in the depths of the palace dungeon, Lord Varick sat in his cell, and he smiled. Because he had one more secret, one more trick, one more card to play. And when the time was right, he would use it. The game was not over, not yet. 2 years after their wedding, the nightmares started slowly. At first, Serafina thought they were just dreams, fragments of memory, echoes of the past. But they grew worse. more vivid, more real. She would wake up gasping, sweating, her heart racing. Lucian would hold her. He would whisper soothing words. He would tell her everything was fine. But Serafina knew better. Something was wrong. One morning, a letter arrived. It was addressed to Serafina. The handwriting was familiar. She opened it with shaking hands. Inside was a single sentence. "I told you this was not over." It was signed with a V. Serafina's blood ran cold. She looked at Lucian. "He is still alive." Lucian's face went pale. "That is impossible. He is in the dungeon, guarded day and night." "Then how do you explain this?" Serafina held up the letter. Lucian took it. He read it. His jaw tightened. "I will go to the capital. I will speak to the king. I will make sure he is still locked up." "I am coming with you," Serafina said. Lucian shook his head. "No, you stay here, with our daughter. Keep her safe." Serafina wanted to argue, but she knew he was right. Their daughter was the most important thing now. "Be careful," she whispered. Lucian kissed her. "I will. I promise." He left that afternoon. Serafina watched him go. A cold knot formed in her stomach. She did not know if she would see him again. Lucian rode hard. He reached the capital in 3 days. He went straight to the palace. The king received him immediately. "Lord Varric is secure," the king said. "I have checked on him myself. He is still in his cell." Lucian showed him the letter. "Then how do you explain this?" The king's face darkened. He called for the captain of the guard. "Take me to Lord Varric's cell," the king commanded. "Now!" They went down into the dungeons, deep underground, where the air was cold and damp. They reached Lord Varric's cell. The guards stood at attention. They unlocked the door. Inside, Lord Varric sat on his bed. He looked up when they entered. He smiled. "Your Majesty," he said smoothly, "to what do I owe the pleasure?" The king held up the letter. "Did you write this?" Lord Varric looked at it. His smile widened. "I did." Lucian's fists clenched. "How? You are locked in here." Lord Varric stood. He walked to the bars. "I have friends, loyal friends, friends who still believe in me, friends who will do anything I ask." The king's face was hard. "You are bluffing." Lord Varric laughed. "Am I? Tell me, Your Majesty, where is your daughter right now?" The king's face went white. "What?" "Your daughter," Lord Varric said. "The princess. Where is she?" The king turned to the captain. "Find her, now." The captain ran. His footsteps echoed through the dungeon. Lord Varric's smile never faded. "You see, Your Majesty, I may be locked in here, but my reach extends far beyond these walls." Lucian's heart pounded. "If you have hurt Serafina—" "Serafina?" Lord Varric interrupted. "Oh, I have not hurt her. Yet. But I could. So easily. One word from me, and she dies. Along with your daughter." Lucian lunged at the bars. "I will kill you." Lord Varric did not flinch. "You could try, but if you do, my friends will know, and they will carry out my final orders. Your family will die. The king's daughter will die. Many others will die." The king's voice was cold. "What do you want?" Lord Varric's smile was triumphant. "My freedom, a ship, passage to another country, and enough gold to start a new life." "That is insane," Lucian said. "We will never agree to that." Lord Varric shrugged. "Then people will die, starting with those you love most." The captain returned. His face was pale. "Your Majesty, the princess is missing. Her guards were found unconscious. There is no sign of her." The king's knees buckled. He grabbed the bars of the cell to steady himself. "Release me," Lord Varric said, And I will tell you where she is. Refuse, and you will never see her again." Lucian's mind raced. He thought of Serafina, of their daughter, of all the innocent people Lord Varick would hurt if they let him go. But he also thought of the king's daughter, of the lives already at stake. "We have to do it," Lucian said quietly. "We have no choice." The king looked at him. Pain filled his eyes. "He will never stop. Even if we let him go, he will come back. He will hurt more people." "I know," Lucian said, "but right now we have to save those we can." The king closed his eyes. He took a deep breath, then he nodded. "Open the cell," he said. The guards hesitated, then they obeyed. Lord Varick stepped out. He stretched. "Much better." The king's voice was like ice. "Where is my daughter?" Lord Varick smiled. "She is safe, for now. She is being held by my associates. When I am safely on a ship and away from this country, they will release her. You have my word." "Your word is worthless," the king said. Lord Varick shrugged. "Perhaps, but it is all you have." They escorted Lord Varick out of the dungeon. They took him to the docks. A ship was waiting, loaded with supplies and gold. Lord Varick boarded. He turned back to look at them. "Thank you, Your Majesty," he said mockingly. "You have been most generous." The king said nothing. His face was a mask of rage and despair. Lord Varick looked at Lucian. "And you, give my regards to Serafina. Tell her this is not over. Not even close." Then he laughed, and the ship sailed away. Lucian stood on the dock. He watched the ship disappear into the distance. He felt sick, helpless, furious. They had let a monster go free, and there was nothing they could do about it. The king's daughter was released 2 days later. She was unharmed, but traumatized. The king thanked Lucian, but there was no joy in his voice, only bitterness. "He won," the king said. "He outsmarted us. Again." Lucian said nothing. There was nothing to say. He rode back to his estate, back to Serafina, back to his daughter. When he arrived, Serafina ran to him. She threw her arms around him. "You are safe," she whispered. "Thank God." Lucian held her tightly. "For now." Serafina pulled back. She looked into his eyes. She saw the defeat there. "What happened?" Lucian told her everything. About the letter, about Lord Varick's threats, about the king's daughter, about the deal they had made. Serafina's face went pale. "He is free." "Yes," Lucian said. Serafina's hands shook. "He will come for us." "I know," Lucian said. They stood there in the fading light, two people who had fought so hard for peace, two people who had finally found happiness, and now it was all slipping away. 3 months passed. Nothing happened. No letters, no threats, no sign of Lord Varick. Serafina and Lucian began to relax. Just a little. Maybe he had moved on. Maybe he had found a new life in a new country. Maybe he had forgotten about them. But deep down, they both knew the truth. Lord Varick never forgot, and he never forgave. One evening, Lucian was working in the garden. Serafina was inside with their daughter. They were reading a story. There was a knock at the door. Serafina frowned. They were not expecting anyone. She opened the door. A woman stood outside. She was older. Her face was kind. She wore simple clothes. "May I help you?" Serafina asked. The woman smiled. "I have a message for you and your husband, from an old friend." Serafina's stomach dropped. "What friend?" The woman's smile did not waver. "Lord Varick." Serafina's hand went to the knife at her belt. "Get out," The woman did not move. "He wants you to know. He has not forgotten. He is watching, always watching. And when you least expect it, he will strike." Serafina's heart pounded. "Tell him we are not afraid." The woman's smile widened. "Oh, but you are. I can see it in your eyes." Serafina slammed the door. She locked it. She ran to the window. The woman was walking away slowly, calmly. Lucian came inside. He saw Serafina's face. "What is wrong?" Serafina told him about the woman, about the message. Lucian's face hardened. "We need to leave. Tonight." "And go where?" Serafina asked. Her voice was desperate. "He will find us, no matter where we go." Lucian took her hands. "Then we stop running. We prepare. We fight." Serafina looked into his eyes. She saw the resolve there, the determination. "How?" she whispered. Lucian's jaw tightened. "We set a trap. We lure him here. And we end this, once and for all." Serafina's breath caught. "That is dangerous." "Living like this is more dangerous," Lucian said. "Always looking over our shoulders, always waiting for him to strike. I would rather face him now, on our terms." Serafina thought about it. She thought about their daughter, about the life they were trying to build. She thought about Lord Varick, about his cruelty, his obsession, and she made a decision. "All right," she said. "We end this." They spent the next week preparing. They fortified the house. They bought weapons. They sent their daughter away to stay with friends. Then they sent word to Lord Varick. Through channels, through whispers. They let it be known that they had something he wanted, something valuable, something he could not resist. And they waited. He came on a stormy night. The rain poured down. Thunder rumbled in the distance. Serafina and Lucian stood in their house, weapons ready, hearts pounding. The door burst open. Lord Varick stepped inside. He was soaked. His hair hung in his face, but his eyes were bright, feverish. "I knew you would call for me," he said. His voice was almost giddy. "I knew you could not resist." Lucian stepped forward. "This ends tonight." Lord Varick laughed. "Yes, it does. With your deaths." He pulled a gun, but Lucian was ready. He threw a knife. It struck Lord Varick's hand. The gun clattered to the floor. Lord Varick screamed. He grabbed his hand. Blood poured between his fingers. Serafina moved quickly. She grabbed the gun. She aimed it at Lord Varick. "It is over," she said. Lord Varick looked at her. His eyes were wild. "You will not shoot me." "You are right," Serafina said. "I will not." She lowered the gun. She looked at Lucian. "But he will." Lucian stepped forward. He took the gun from Serafina. He aimed it at Lord Varick. Lord Varick's face went pale. "Wait, wait! We can make a deal. I can—" "No more deals," Lucian said. His voice was cold. "No more games, no more threats." He pulled the trigger. The shot echoed through the house. Lord Varick fell. Blood spread across the floor. His eyes stared up at the ceiling. Empty. Lifeless. He was dead. Serafina and Lucian stood there, staring at the body. Neither of them spoke. Finally, Lucian dropped the gun. He turned to Serafina. "It is done." Serafina nodded. Tears streamed down her face. "It is done." They held each other. They cried. They shook. They had killed a man. They had taken a life. But they had also saved countless others. They had ended a threat. They had protected their family. And they had done it together. They buried Lord Varick in an unmarked grave, far from the estate, far from civilization. They told the king what had happened. He thanked them. He pardoned them. He gave them his blessing. "You did what had to be done," he said. "You are heroes." But Serafina and Lucian did not feel like heroes. They felt tired, broken, haunted. They brought their daughter home. They tried to return to normal life, but nothing was normal anymore. At night, Serafina dreamed of Lord Varick, of his eyes staring up at her, of the blood on the floor. Lucian woke up in cold sweats. He saw Lord Varick's face. He heard his laughter. They had won, but the cost had been high. 1 year later, Serafina stood in the garden. She watched their daughter play. The little girl was laughing, running through the flowers, chasing butterflies. Lucian came up beside her. He put his arm around her waist. "She is happy," he said quietly. "Yes," Serafina said. "She does not remember any of it. She does not know what we did." Lucian was silent for a moment. Then he said, "Do you regret it?" Serafina thought about it. She thought about Lord Varick, about the fear, about the danger, about the choice they had made. "No," she said finally. "I do not regret it. He would have killed us. He would have killed others. We did what we had to do." Lucian nodded. "But it still haunts you." "Yes," Serafina admitted. "It does. Every day." Lucian pulled her closer. "It haunts me too. But we survived. We are together. We are raising our daughter. We have a life. That is what matters." Serafina leaned her head on his shoulder. "I love you." "I love you too," Lucian said. They stood there in the warm sunlight, watching their daughter play, trying to find peace. And slowly, day by day, they did. 5 years later, Serafina and Lucian sat on their porch. The sun was setting. The sky was painted in shades of gold and crimson. Their daughter was inside, reading. She was older now, smarter, braver. "She looks like you," Lucian said. Serafina smiled. "She has your stubbornness." Lucian laughed. "That is fair." They sat in comfortable silence. Years had passed. The nightmares had faded. The memories were still there, but they were softer now, less sharp. "Do you ever wonder," Serafina said slowly, "what would have happened if we had not met that day, in the courtroom?" Lucian thought about it. "I do, sometimes." "Do you think we would have been happier," Serafina asked, "if we had never fallen in love, if we had never been dragged into Lord Varick's schemes?" Lucian turned to look at her. His eyes were serious. "No, I do not think we would have been happier. I think we would have been empty, because we would not have had each other." Serafina's eyes filled with tears. "Even after everything we went through?" "Especially after everything we went through," Lucian said. He took her hand. "You took the blame for me. You were willing to die for me. And I was willing to die for you. We were both innocent, but we loved each other so much we could not see it. We could not see the truth." Serafina squeezed his hand. "Lord Varick used that against us." "Yes," Lucian said, "but he also underestimated us. He thought our love made us weak, but it made us stronger. It gave us the courage to fight, to survive, to protect each other." Serafina smiled through her tears. "We did survive. Somehow." "We did," Lucian said. He leaned over and kissed her. "And we will keep surviving. Together. Always." Serafina kissed him back. She poured all her love into that kiss, all her gratitude, all her hope. When they pulled apart, the sun had set. Stars were beginning to appear in the sky. "Look," Serafina said. She pointed up. "The first star." Lucian looked up. "Make a wish." Serafina closed her eyes. She wished for peace, for happiness, for a future without fear. When she opened her eyes, Lucian was watching her. "What did you wish for?" he asked. Serafina smiled. "I cannot tell you, or it will not come true." Lucian smiled back. "Then I will just have to guess." He pulled her close. They sat there under the stars, two people who had been through hell and back, two people who had taken the blame for crimes they did not commit, two people who had been innocent all along. They had lost so much. They had suffered. They had killed. They had been haunted. But they had also loved. They had fought. They had survived. And in the end, that was all that mattered. 10 years later, Serafina was older now. Her hair had streaks of grey, her face had lines, but her eyes were still bright, still full of life. Lucian sat beside her. He was older too. His body was not as strong as it used to be, but his love for her had not diminished. Their daughter was grown. She had married. She had children of her own. Serafina and Lucian were grandparents now. They spent their days in the garden, playing with their grandchildren, telling them stories. But they never told them about Lord Varick, about the courtroom, about the fear and the danger and the death. Some stories were not meant for children. One evening, Serafina and Lucian sat on their porch, just like they had so many times before. "Do you remember," Serafina said softly, "that day in the courtroom, when I confessed?" Lucian nodded. Every detail. "I thought I was saving you," Serafina said. "I thought you were guilty. I thought if I took the blame, you would live." "I thought the same about you," Lucian said. "I was so sure you had committed the crime. I was so sure I had to protect you." Serafina smiled sadly. "We were both wrong. We were both innocent. We were both tricked. But we were also both willing to die for each other," Lucian said. "That was real. That was true." Serafina looked at him. "Do you think we would do it again? If we had the chance, would we make the same choices?" Lucian thought about it. He thought about all the pain, all the suffering, all the years of fear. But he also thought about the love, the devotion, the unbreakable bond they had forged. "Yes," he said finally, "I would do it all again. Every moment, every choice. Because it led me to you, and you are worth everything." Serafina's eyes filled with tears. "I love you. I have always loved you. From the moment I saw you in that courtroom, even when I thought you were a criminal, even when I thought you had betrayed me. I loved you." Lucian reached over. He wiped away her tears. "And I have always loved you. Even when I thought you were guilty, even when I thought you had made a terrible mistake. I loved you, and I always will." They kissed. It was a soft kiss, a gentle kiss, a kiss filled with decades of love and devotion. When they pulled apart, the sun was setting, just like it had so many times before. "We made it," Serafina whispered. "We survived." "We did," Lucian said. "Together." And as the stars began to appear in the sky, they sat there, hand in hand, heart to heart. Two people who had taken the blame for crimes they did not commit. Two people who had been innocent all along. Two people who had loved each other more than life itself. Their story had been filled with pain, with betrayal, with fear. But it had also been filled with love, with courage, with hope. And in the end, love had won.